With it seems every WWE pay-per-view coming down, you sort of see, like, at the end of Hell in the Cell, you can sort of start to see WrestleMania start to come into picture with Survivor Series, with the big Sting debut. I know there was a lot of people like me who thought it was never going to happen. A little bit more is even shaping up to seeing what WrestleMania 31 is going to be built around. With Sting coming into the WWE, it sort of opens up. Is he going to have a match? Is he going to go into the Hall of Fame? This is something that we're going to have to see sort of like the storyline progress to what we're sort of getting to. You know, as Triple H was in the ring, sort of staring down Sting as they spun around and round. They sort of were looking into each other's eyes, and finally Triple H finally broke, saying, you know, what are you doing here? And he basically, I couldn't read his lips anymore, but he was basically, in my mind, I thought he was like, you're a washed-up has-been from WCW. You have no reason being in this WWE ring. Why are you trying to stop me from winning this match? And I think that's where the fans have to basically start writing their own angle and sort of filling in the answers right now to seeing, you know, when are we going to see Sting again? Basically, it looks like Triple H and Stephanie are going to stay as characters on WWE Monday Night Raw, how they won't have any authority in what is going down. They can't book matches. They can't sort of start angles. They can't run anybody down into the ground, but they can be there, and they can sort of, I guess if Triple H wants to come down to the ring and interject into one of the matches, he's just as much on the roster as Kofi Kingston or Big E Langston. And maybe that's what's going to have to happen and before Sting pumps his face into there. I don't really want to see Sting wrestle before WrestleMania 31. I don't want it to be a lot like, you know, The Rock coming back and wrestling at Madison Square Garden at the Survivor Series where he teamed up with John Cena before WrestleMania 28. It was a fun moment. Maybe it didn't really take a whole lot away from WrestleMania 28, but I don't think a lot of people really got what they were really hoping to see from that Survivor Series tag match. Yeah, it was two, for the lack of a better term, mega powers going up against The Miz and R-Truth. It was sort of showing, you know, they didn't have a whole lot of competition going into this match. How you can build two of the biggest names in wrestling at that time, let alone in the history of wrestling, going up against The Miz and R-Truth. It sort of left a big hole in what was going down. Now, you know, I don't really want to see Sting show up and wrestle in the Royal Rumble. I don't know what the pay-per-view is named after the Royal Rumble in between January and March. I guess the Elimination Chamber is goodbye, and it's going to be named something else. I did see one called like the Fast Lane, or it was some horrible pay-per-view name of what it was going to be named. I don't know if that's going to be the February pay-per-view, if maybe they got rid of other names along the way. I'm really hoping that they rid Hell in the Cell from the October schedule, never doing that again. But basically, Sting, you know, maybe he'll have a match against Triple H. I think that's the biggest thing going right now. There's a lot of people still holding on to Sting versus Undertaker. Basically, in my mind, I think Undertaker is done in the WWE. I think that he's going to be going in a different direction with his career. I think, you know, with him doing the Ice Bucket Challenge, with him showing up more and more every day on Michelle McCool's Instagram thing, I think he's sort of killing off the Undertaker gimmick. Will he show up on Monday Night Raw for a Raw 2000? Will he show up on the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw? Will he show up, you know, just sporadically sometimes when maybe they kill off the Kane character? Maybe they will. But until then, I think Undertaker's done. I don't think we're going to see Undertaker wrestle inside of a ring anymore. If you saw the WrestleMania 30 match against Brock Lesnar, and let's face it, who hasn't, thanks to the WWE Network, or maybe you bought a ticket and you went to the show, or you bought the DVD, or, you know, it's too easy to see these matches now. If you didn't buy the pay-per-view, that, you know, it wasn't a good match. And maybe it was just, you know, just damn luck of, you know, Undertaker getting a concussion in that match just minutes in. But basically, he was just a big sack of potatoes for Brock Lesnar to pick up and throw around. I don't know how he was able to find any offense in this match. If you look into his eyes and you can tell what's going down, he's basically being led around the ring by Brock Lesnar and by Paul Heyman. He doesn't know where he's at. He's fighting on instinct. And, you know, the match lagged. It wasn't fun. I don't think anybody in the Superdome or anybody at home really saw the finish coming. I thought everybody thought that basically Taker before the end of the day was going to hit that tombstone, and it was going to be 1, 2, 3. Taker would get his hand raised, and we were going to have 22-0. Instead, now we're stuck with 21-1. And what will another Undertaker match mean? Does he want to start a new streak? Is he going to, want to say that he retired 1-0 and he was able to avenge the loss? You'll never be able to lose it. I mean, like, the Patriots went undefeated in that one season, but they lost the Super Bowl. So they didn't win the big one. They were able to have their names up on the plaque of saying they were able to run the table 16-0, a feat that only the Miami Dolphins has done in the past. But at the end of the days, they lost the Super Bowl. They didn't get the ring. So the Dolphins are always going to look at as one of the better teams that the NFL has ever seen, because they went all the way to the Super Bowl and won the big one undefeated. You're never going to be able to get that one back. So it's just the end of days. Sting versus Triple H is probably the best match that could be going. Sting is not no spring chicken. He's not a 35-year-old. He's not a 45-year-old. He's a 55-year-old guy coming into WWE. He's got a great wrestling. He's not coming in off the streets. He's coming from TNA. He's coming from WCW. He's wrestled on foreign tours. So even though it's been a while since he wrestled his last match in last December, it's going to be over a year before he wrestles a match, and maybe it takes time for his body to heal, and he gets in and trains. Hopefully he doesn't have to wrestle in a t-shirt. This could be a damn good match. And, Triple H has only got a handful of matches that aren't good at the end of the day, in my book. Of course, I'll be in Triple H's corner. I'll be rooting him on. More than likely, Sting's going to be walking out of there with the win, unless there's some sort of a stipulation on the line of Triple H coming back into power or something like that. Then I can see Sting dropping the ball. But people have always said about Sting, he's not coming into WWE basically just to kill off his own character and let WWE run over him with a truck and just sort of, just kill off what was WCW once and for all. WWE has came in, and I thought they've really made Booker T look good over time, turning him into a Hall of Famer, making him a World Heavyweight Champion with the King Booker gimmick. Ric Flair had a damn good run there. People will say probably that the match he had against Shawn might even be one of the best matches he ever had in his career. There was times when Ric Flair was kicked down in the dumps, but basically it was, in real life, Triple H picking up Ric Flair and saying, "You're fucking Ric Flair, and you need to start acting like you're Ric Flair." They started riding together, they started training together, and before long, Ric Flair got his confidence back, something that was killed back in WCW. He started wrestling. A lot of the matches that Ric Flair wrestled in WWE didn't really make a big difference. They were able to pair him with Batista and make him a tag champion. He beat Carlito to become an Intercontinental Champion. These are things that if you're watching, you remember. But if you're, a fringe fan, you're more than likely not going to remember those things. They didn't really matter in the end of times. But when it comes down to it, WWE made Ric Flair look like he was one of the best of all time. Who else came from WCW? There was DDP, who's got a long-lasting sort of, he's got this sort of thing over his career for the match. It was Canyon and DDP going up against the Brothers of Destruction in that steel cage match that wasn't that good. And, he became the European champion. He got injured, and he had to end his career. Maybe now he's more known for, DDP yoga worldwide instead of wrestling. But, it seems like they bring him back and they make him look in a good light. I don't think Vince McMahon, Triple H, or anybody in charge is looking out to kill Sting. He's not going to have that moment of Rock coming out there and saying, "Who are you?" Everybody knows who Sting is. You can tell by that ovation he got at Survivor Series. I don't like Sting. I've never been a big fan of Sting, but I respect Sting. He'd be a good fit into the WWE Hall of Fame. I have no understanding why he's not in the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. But I think WrestleMania 31, even though a lot of people are saying that the odd number WrestleManias are never good, look at WrestleMania 27, look at WrestleMania 29. They only care about the even ones. They only care about every other year. And WrestleMania 31 is only going to be made to build up WrestleMania 32. Let's face it. The people that say that are the people that don't go on the trips to go to that show. And I'm going to go to WrestleMania 31. I know it's going to be a good show. I've never even gone to a WWE house show and not had a fun time. There's nothing about WrestleMania 31 that's not going to be a great time. I can't think of anybody except for my friend Justin that normally comes to WrestleMania who's not going to be there. Gemini's going to be in the house. Of course, Ravi. Of course, Luke. Miguel. Zach's going to be there. We're going to have a ton of fun that week, and we're going to blow that town up. Santa Clara right down the road. I keep on having this thing go off in my mind, like, Steve, you need to look at plane tickets. Steve, you need to look at plane tickets. Not this year. All I got to do is throw my shit into my wife's van, drive it down to Santa Clara, and we're going to have a ball. Peace out, everybody. Sting versus Triple H. No Hogan, no Undertaker. I'm all right with that.